Live from News Channel 8 in Tampa, Florida, this is Bucs Bonus on WFLA Now. Powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY.
It's the matchup we've all been waiting for, perhaps one of the most anticipated regular season games in NFL history. Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski back in New England with head coach Bill Belichick, but on the other side of the field, on the opposing sideline, Belichick with the New England Patriots with a new quarterback and a new team facing off against Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, Rob Gronkowski, and your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hey there, folks. Welcome to Bucs Bonus, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY. Great to have Karen Loftus here on the program. Karen, we're really getting close now to kickoff. That's, of course, going to be on WFLA NBC, your NBC station here. Can't wait to see this one here. One of the most anticipated regular season matchups in history. Brady back in New England, and the appetite for this game is just so significant out there.
Yeah, we've had this one circled on the calendar since the schedule came out, and it's just the game that everybody is looking forward to. I've been saying it's not just some player going back to play his former team. This is the greatest coaching and quarterback duo, the most successful one in the history of NFL, facing each other on opposite sidelines. Brady going back to Gillette as a visitor, and the visitors' locker room. I mean, and these two guys are some of the most competitive people to ever be in the NFL. So pretty high stakes, whether they admit it or not, right? Yeah,
and they could downplay it all they want, like you're talking about, yeah. But there isn't a football fan in America that does not want to see this game. You can be a Seahawks fan in Seattle, a 49ers fan in San Francisco, you can be a Cardinals fan in Arizona, you can be on the other end of the country. You are watching this game because you want to see who wins out, Brady or Belichick. Before we get into the matchup here itself, some housekeeping notes here. Injuries here, of course. You don't want to talk about injuries, but there are some, potential unknowns here heading into kickoff on Sunday. I really want to know, first and foremost, perhaps you can start with tight end Rob Gronkowski. It's a homecoming for him as well. He took that big hit in our last matchup for the Buccaneers, and it took that shot to the midsection there. What do we know about Gronkowski's status?
He has not participated in practice this week, so his status is not clear for the game yet. Bruce Arians did not touch on his status for the game. You know that at all costs he's going to try and go. But, I mean, you saw that hit. I mean, it takes a lot to bring Rob Gronkowski down. So think about the velocity with which he got hit to put him down and to give him a rib injury. So he has not practiced this week, so we'll have to wait and see about him. But a couple of the other injury notes, Giovanni Bernard and Jamel Dean. Bruce Arians said that those two guys are ruled out for Sunday. So Giovanni Bernard, running back, and Jamel Dean in the secondary. So on the heels of that, Richard Sherman is going to be active for the game, Bruce Arians said today.
Which is not according to the original plan. Sherman was expected to kind of get eased in here very slowly, and perhaps we would see him more in week 5, week 6, a few more weeks into the season. But Richard Sherman, I mean, listen, you were there. I saw your video on social media. You were there. You saw Richard Sherman participating in practice this week. I think that he looks relatively good for somebody who's just really coming out of obscurity, being a NFL free agent and now being ready to suit up for the Bucs.
Yeah, and we saw that with Antonio Brown, talking about late additions who didn't really get the preseason, the training camp, all of those to get amped up to go into the season. So we know that it can work out for veteran players because it's just a matter of some of the terminology, the specifics of the playbook, and then also getting into football shape. But if he's stayed in shape, there might be a little bit of a learning curve or a physical curve, if you will, to get up to game speed. But I think having him active will be good. I don't know how much he's going to play. Bruce Arians didn't say how much he was going to play, but he wanted him active for the game just in case, is what he said.
We'd like to, of course, get the conversation going here ahead of kickoff on Sunday. You can use hashtag Bucs Bonus, hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyKaren. And, of course, we're going to be monitoring your comments here in the social media comments section. Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, who is going to win out? Use hashtag Bucs Bonus, hashtag HeyJB, or hashtag HeyKaren here. Let's talk about the offense here for a second outside of, we're going to talk here in a moment about Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the legacy here for a second. But I want to talk about Giovanni Bernard not suiting up for this game because a lot of fantasy owners know where I'm going with this as far as Ronald Jones, Rojo, not really seeing a lot of action the last couple of weeks. That opening week fumble that he had, Karen, is he in Bruce Arians' doghouse, and could we see the reemergence of Rojo here this week with Giovanni Bernard on the sideline?
I think it's possible, but what we've seen from the first 3 games is that they've been very pass-heavy. And granted, last game, the Bucs were pass-heavy because they fell behind, and then that's just how the game had to be played. So you talk about their rush game hasn't really made an appearance too much this season. They only have 169 total rush yards as a team through the 3 games, and Leonard Fournette leads them with 92 rush yards. So yet to be seen. Bruce Arians has said he wants their offense to be more balanced, ideally. So it depends on how the course of the game goes. I mean, hopefully for the Bucs, they're not in a situation where they're down and they have to rely on the pass game. But I would expect to see, Leonard Fournette and Rojo, as sort of has been the plan, to get them involved equally. And then you talk about Giovanni Bernard. I mean, he was sort of the third down back, a pass-catching back. So, in that aspect. So you'll have Leonard and you'll have Rojo probably getting equal amounts of carries.
I'm very looking forward to see what the run game looks like because you know that this is going to be a chess match between Brady and Belichick. We have seen, going back to weeks ago when we saw Brady shout out to the sideline there in the fourth quarter to Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, saying, no, Brady calling really his own play in that moment. So you know this is going to be a chess match between Brady and between Belichick. It's going to be so bizarre, so weird to see Brady under center and to see Belichick trying to get into his mind as to what he's going to do here. What do you anticipate as far as just the mind games that are going to be going on here between what Brady thinks he's going to do to Belichick and what Belichick's going to think he's going to? They're strategizing right now. They've been strategizing, I'm sure, all week or really all preseason long for this game. So what is going to happen when that chess match actually unfolds on Sunday night?
Well, hopefully Brady isn't the Bucs' leading rusher like
Right.
he was last week. I mean, Brady is an amazing player, but he is not a quarterback who you really want to see in the statistical category of leading your team in rush yards. So he's been doing fine in the pass game. Protect the football. He's been sacked 6 times so far this season. He only has 2 interceptions. So obviously the key to this is going to be, Brady just protecting the football. And you're going to see a very stoic Brady and a very stoic Belichick. I mean, poker faces to the max. You're going to see the determination from both of them. And you just know deep down how much they both want to win this game.
I think that Tom Brady brings it every week, his competitive nature. So I don't know if we're going to see anything all that different on the surface.
Yes, exactly. Preparation is going to be the same.
Yep.
And that's the thing that he was saying in his press conference this week is like, he knows. He's not stupid. He's going to leave all the hype to us in the media. But, I mean, that's why he's been so successful, is treating every single game the same, even if the stakes are higher in some games than the others.
I think under the surface, Brady's going to want this one just as bad as any regular season game he's ever played in. But on the surface, you're going to see that same intensity that we've seen ever since day one when he arrived here in Tampa to play for Bruce Arians and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, Karen Loftus, JB Buno here with you on Bucs Bonus, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY. We're looking here also, too, at Mac Jones. Let's just talk about Mac for a second. Can you imagine being the quarterback, a rookie quarterback, and now going up against Tom Brady and really you're Bill Belichick's guy? Cam Newton was said to be at least a starter to begin the season. This is going back to camp now. No Cam Newton, no longer on the roster, of course, let go by the team. Now it's Mac's team here, and he's got to go up against Tom Brady. He's not worried, I'm sure, he's more focused on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense and probably trying to dissect that secondary that is just so depleted, as he should. But you can't ignore that you're going up against Tom Brady, Karen.
Right. And first and foremost, I want to point out this little nugget here just to show the discrepancy in ages. So Mac Jones was about 1.5 years old when Tom Brady was drafted. Mac Jones, born in 98, September of 98. Brady drafted in April of 2000. So just the difference in experience in the league is just massive. So you have that to begin with, just the difference in age and experience. Mac Jones has one professional football win under his belt. Brady has, I don't know,
He's got more rings than more rings than Mac Jones has career games under his belt.
Yeah, so I think a point of emphasis is going to be, and rightfully so, whenever you have a rookie quarterback, it's sort of that blood in the water thing, like let's shake him up from the jump. I mean, and especially, unfortunately for Mac Jones, that is a point of emphasis for the Bucs defense after the Rams game. They said many times after the Rams game that one of the things that they wanted to improve upon was their pass rushing. So if the Bucs are coming off a loss, they say one of their points of emphasis is the pass rush. They're going to be bringing it and doing everything they can the first couple drives of the game and probably the entire game, I would imagine, to make his life miserable.
We'll see exactly how much vigor is carried out there on the field in that regard. Patriots now 1-2 on the season, Buccaneers 2-1. And even though the game is in New England, I haven't checked the spread today. But
Me either.
What are the odds that the Patriots is this game competitive? I know that sounds crazy, and I'm a biased Bucs fan. Of course, we're live here on Bucs Bonus. We're here on Bucs Bonus. But is there even a reasonable chance for the Patriots to be even in this game, let alone win it?
I feel like that's a good question because in my head, I'm leaning the same way you are.
Right.
But you talk about hostile environment. You know, you don't know how loud it's going to be. I know that the Rams game was very loud. And that could have given them, it could have given them trouble. So you talk about hostile environment. The one coach in the entire NFL that knows the quarterback's tendencies, their tight ends' tendencies, and even Antonio Brown, because Antonio Brown played there. So the familiarity, I mean, if anybody can have an edge, but then it goes both ways, you know what I mean? So as much as Belichick and the staff there in New England knows Brady and Gronk, AB, it goes the other way too. And you don't, you know, you have to know that Tom Brady is going to use every bit of information to help their side of it, their cause.
Before we go here, and again, looking forward to kickoff on WFLA, your NBC station here in Tampa Bay. But wherever you're watching from, it's your NBC station, Sunday Night Football, of course. Really looking forward to it. But before we go, Karen, let's just talk about this. The report comes out this week that that Tom Brady, again, according to the report, and a book that is going to be published, that Tom Brady wanted there to be more. He wanted to be more involved with the Patriots organization, and some of his chagrin here, as far as his departure from New England, was connected to some of the frustrations that he had in playing for Bill Belichick and not being able to contribute more to the personnel decisions that the team were making, and also too that he wanted to play well into his mid-40s, and the team just didn't appear ready, or at least somewhat ready, to commit to all of the things that Brady wanted to do as he, you know, kind of rode off into the sunset or into the twilight years of his career. So with that said, how much is the conversation going to be about what could have been if Tom Brady remained a Patriot for the entirety of his career versus coming here to Tampa Bay to potentially finish out his football career?
I feel like that is a narrative that maybe Patriots fans might think about.
Yes.
In particular, because I know Bucs fans aren't thinking about that.
No.
They're not thinking about, well, what if he was still in New England? All they know is that he is their quarterback right now.
They know about that avocado tequila and having fun on the Hillsborough River.
They have tasted the championship with Tom Brady, and they are very glad to have him. And talking about, you know, Brady having a choice in, like, personnel decisions and stuff, I mean, you've seen that here. I mean, just as recently with Richard Sherman. He calls Richard Sherman to get the ball rolling on this new union and bringing him in.
Yep, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown. Brady is bringing in people that he wants to play with.
Yes, and Jason Light and Bruce Arians are more than happy to have that. I mean, he's how much better of a recruiter can you have? So I think it's just a really good fit for Tom Brady and Bruce Arians and Jason Light. I think it's just a really good fit for him, and I know the Bucs are happy as an organization, and Bucs fans are certainly happy that he ended up coming to Tampa Bay.
Before we wrap up here on Bucs Bonus, Karen's keys to the game. Karen, what are you going to be watching for on Sunday night specifically? Yes, all the attention is on Tom Brady, all the attention on Bill Belichick. Maybe some of the other things that other people, you know, true football fans would note. But what are you watching for on Sunday night?
So a couple things. We touched on it earlier about the run game. I'd really like to see the Bucs have a more balanced attack, maybe establish the run like they've been wanting to do, and get some more work on the ground, get Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones more involved as the game unfolds. Then also on the defensive side of the things, when I talk about the pass rush and how that trickles down to the secondary, you get the pressure on the quarterback and good things happen. You cause turnovers. They had 4 turnovers. The Bucs defense caused 4 turnovers in the first 2 games, but they didn't have any against the Rams, and that was crucial. So I'm looking for the Bucs defense to shake things up, get some turnovers, maybe even get a defensive score, which we saw them help them big time with 2 of those against the Falcons.
Again, Karen Loftus and her keys to the game here, folks. We are so excited for kickoff. Sunday night, 8:20 is the kickoff time, though, of course, the coverage doesn't start there. It's going to be, of course, live on NBC, your NBC station, wherever you're watching from. Sunday Night Football, perhaps, again, the most anticipated regular season matchup, maybe in NFL history. Brady against Belichick, Buccaneers versus Patriots. This is Bucs Bonus, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY. Thanks so much for watching. Karen and I will be back for more Bucs Bonus coverage throughout the season. And as always, folks, go Bucs.